Hey there, curious investors. Ever wondered about the wild world of crypto, options income, and how they all fit together? If you're pondering whether a particular fund deserves a spot in your portfolio, you're in the right place. We're about to break it all down. Get ready because we're diving deep how it works, what the risks are, and if it's worth your hard-earned money. Let's get started. With Bitwise, the Bitwise Coin Option Income Strategy ETF, ticker symbol ICOI. Take it away, Doug.
Hey, thanks, Will. Hey, everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Doug, the Retirement Guy. Today we're diving into the brand new ETF from Bitwise. It's the Bitwise Coin Option Income Strategy, ICOI. If you're curious about crypto, options income, and whether it deserves a spot in your portfolio, stick around because we're breaking it down, how it works, the risks, and if it's worth your hard-earned money putting it together. So let's get into that, and let's get into the video. Notice to all viewers, past performance does not guarantee future results. And if you're looking for financial information, always contact a licensed financial advisor. This is for informational and educational purposes only. So who is Bitwise and what is ICOI? Well, ICOI is an options income ETF tied to Coinbase Global, the coin stock. Instead of just holding Coinbase shares, this ETF uses a synthetic option strategy to generate income. So specifically, it sells covered calls and sometimes puts on Coinbase stock, collecting the premiums as income, which pays out to the shareholders every month. Now, we've seen this many a times. There's other funds out there that have done this. So it's nothing spectacular. It's nothing new. It's nothing crazy to coming up with. But what there's some reasons why we're covering this to show you what this actually is doing. This came out in April 1st of 2025. No, this is not an April Fool's joke. Came out April 1st. It has assets under management of over almost $35 million. It has shares outstanding already at 920,000 shares. And it has paid out dividends monthly. Now, here's what I really get crazy about. The distribution rate right now, as of 9/25, was 156.79%. Now, that is phenomenal for such a new fund. I cannot believe that they have this done that high. The next thing that blows my mind is they've already paid out over $26.19 per share already. So we're only into probably four payments, maybe 5 payments total. It's crazy how much money this thing is actually cranked out. So how does ICOI work? Well, the fund options on Coinbase stock. So they don't buy Coinbase stock. What they do is they put up collateral and they line up enough stock so they can go out and sell their covered calls, but they have options on the Coinbase. So they don't need as much money to put it out there. It then sells call options against those shares. And if the Coinbase trades sideways or slightly up, the fund keeps the option premiums as profit. Standard operating procedure for selling calls. It may also put options to generate more premium or buy shares at a discount. All the option premiums are collected. That's because the cash flow for investors, which is distributed by dividends. So what they're doing is they're covering both sides of the fence. They're doing call and put options. So a call is we're saying that the price of the fund is going to go up, and we're going to give you a certain amount of time to buy my option, pay a premium. Same thing is we're saying that the stock is going to fall to a certain point, and you're going to have, pay me for the premium to have that option. And when you pay me for that premium, the premium payments are added in as distributions or dividends to the shareholders. So again, very, very standard, similar option, other than that they are using calls and puts across the board in the Bitcoin side. So they're trying to capture it on both sides. Well, we take a look at the holdings. This is what got me a little more interested into it and what their holdings are. Look at this. 99.51% of their money right now is in cash. Okay. Now, I'm not shocked at that one because it's getting it closer to the end of the day of trading. So you clear out all your options or your calls and so on. You're going to clear those up and they're going to come back to you as cash. But then what are they getting? Look at the next one. Option on Coinbase Global, ordinary shares, Class A, 3.92%. So they've already have options on Coinbase that they can go out and sell covered calls or whatever they need to do. It's what price they've paid for those to make things happen. Now, 3.25% is in government money market series institutions. So they have cash already put aside, not all of their cash. Again, this could be just timing of when pulling their holdings, but 3% of their cash is invested into just regular interest bearing. But now look at this next one, Coin. They have a covered call for 3201 that runs from 10 to 1017. So this is a longer run. This is, we're into next month already. So this is almost a 30-day call, and that they have 3/4 of a percentage point in those. So very interesting. And now down here you will see where they've actually have the -1. So they unfortunately sold something and they had to cover it with this options calls. Same thing with down here. So this is a very neat system. This is how you look at things. I know this can get very technical, and this is why I wanted to explain it to you. 99%, all your money sitting in cash. Think of you have $100 bills sitting on your desk. Now, you go and your neighbor says they will sell you the Coinbase that they own at a preset price, and we'll just call it $300. Okay? So I can get it for $300 all day long. I did take some money and go put in a savings account, which is nothing big there. But I'm out there selling coin all the way out to 1017. You can buy my funds for $320. Just pay me my options. So they probably have an option up base, like I said, $300, and they're selling it for $320, so they get a $20 bonus plus whatever the premium fee is. So these are the things that you got to look at underneath the hood to find out what's going on with this fund. I like this. This is a neat little strategy that they are doing. And I know this is very common with synthetics, but you can see how they're already showing what they have on their plate. So why would someone invest into this? Well, it's the income potential, because Coinbase stock is really super volatile. Option premiums are very juicy. So that means ICO could potentially pay high distributions compared to traditional stock ETFs. This also gives you full access to the crypto exposure with income. Because if you go buy Coinbase yourself, you're getting no dividends. If you get into crypto, you got to wait for it to grow to do something. So this is how you get, again, you get income. And plus the monthly cash flow provides investors some regular streams. So I show you down here, this is Coinbase Global. Look at the mountains, look at the peaks, look at the drops all the way through. This is what creates, I call it the volatility. This is what you want. You want this thing up, down, sideways, everything about. We pull this and you can see on 3/12, on September 26th, we pulled this report and the price for the fund is going for 312. Remember what they're selling. They're selling a covered call for $320. So this means if this thing goes up $8, they're going to have, someone will probably end up buying their covered call. So we have almost a month before we get to $320. Will it get there? This is the game of option trading. You're saying it's going to $320. The price is at $312. Pay me some money. If it goes to $325, you're making money. So they want to know where this thing's going, because if you look a little farther back, the thing was up to over 400, so it'd be well worth 320. Distributions. Take a look at the chart. And like I showed you, there was 4 different distributions. So we had basically one for June, July, August, and we got September. The September one's going to be reporting here shortly. So basically, I'll say maybe it's April, May, and June. So the last one was $5.16. Look at the distributions. There we go. May was $6.17. June, $5.61. July had a huge payout, $9.24. And August is $5.16. These are phenomenal distributions. So you look at this, you're saying it's paid out $26.19 already on an average of $6.54 per share per month. Well, this is what makes everyone go wow and mind-blowing and eye-blowing, that you're telling me we're going to be getting a $6 a month dividend from something with Coinbase. I'm already at a point saying, okay, guys, maybe this is what we want to sign up for. Maybe this is what we want to get into. These numbers are phenomenal. We've looked at the price. The price is about a $32 share fund. So we got a real quick, nice roll around with this. So let's talk about the risk. Let's talk about the other side that we need to look at. You have a limited upside. If Coinbase stock shoots up 50%, you will not capture all that gain. The calls are sold by the fund will cap your upside. Just like I showed you in the example earlier. The current price is $312 and they're selling an option for $320. You're only going to pick up $8 on those shares. Okay, so you're capped to how much you can go. Now the next set's going to go up a little higher again. So this is why you always see these funds not climbing dramatically, not moving direct fast up, but you're getting income. It's still volatile. You're tied to Coinbase stock, which follows the crypto market. If Bitcoin crashes, Coinbase could drop. And if you let your ETF value fall too far, you're not going to get your options. Dividends are not guaranteed. Option premiums vary depending on the volatility, so payouts can change from month to month. We already showed you that. So the risk of this is you may go a month without a payment. But the whole kicker is if you have volatility, your volatility is going to change in how much income you're getting from in and out of what they do with their options trading. You're going to have a limited upside, but you have a huge downside. Okay? I don't see the Coinbase stock dropping dramatically or falling out. I don't see Bitcoin crashing. Okay? I don't see any of that. I see volatility about those, but these are the risks that you have to deal with. Now, here's the real risk. Take a look at this fund. Okay? Like I said, it's down to $32.51. 5 days, it's dropped 19.13%. That's volatility. 1 month, down 11.44%. Year to date, it's down 31.79%. Very common on high yield packages that you're going to see a lot of. This is what people will call NAV erosion. This is just a very volatile market. I wouldn't even classify this as NAV erosion. This is just a volatile market. So that either they've bought the options at the wrong time, they've offered it too low, the price of the product went out, they had to sell too many. It's really going in that way. Now this is looking at this at year to date, and this is the risk that you're going to take. Look at the drop-offs that you've had. These are not just small little drops. These are huge drops across the board. So this is the big risk that you got. And I look at right off the bat, 5 days, 19% down. That's tremendous. Why are we down 19% in 5 days? I would have to know more about it. So I take a little deeper dive into this and saying, how did this thing drop off so dramatically? How do you have a big drop off in just the 5 days, and the real drop off comes into just 1 day right here? Overnight trading took it for a $4.30 drop. Well, as I did my research, I found out it's the dividend X date. This thing dropped off, and guess what? The dividend that's paying out in September is $4.30. So guys, there is not a big drop off. This is not the big scare that people are thinking it is, or that I thought originally. This is just timing. The dividend X date is giving this big drop off. When I do my research, I found out that the recovery time on the dividend is about 4 to 7 days. So in about a week, we should be back to where we are. if everything stays accordingly. So that is the big thing that you have to watch for. So right now, it could be a time to be buying it because you're buying it without the dividend. And we already know the dividend is $4.30. And we know that this is a month that the Bitcoin has not had a dramatic volatility. It's been quiet. So again, we have a win-win situation. So in summary, this is a standard system for covered calls. Distributions, you have huge distributions of 156.79% with the big payout, which is $26.19 on an average of $6.54. Now we know September is going to be a little bit lower because of the facts that we've already been given. So we take a look at your growth yield, down 31, and an overnight drop of $4.30. Well, that was the dividend going forward. So total return, you're at 125 year-to-date yield. That is very, very hard to beat, guys. I personally like this fund. I like what I'm seeing. This may be going into my regular monthly portfolio because you cannot find too many monthlies that can pay you 125% with this kind of a covered service. I'm impressed. So that's the breakdown on the Bitwise coin option strategy. What do you guys think? Do you think this is a personal one that you want to buy, put in your portfolio? Do you want to just get into it small, or do you think stay away from it? Let me know. Leave a comment down below. And if you're not a member, hit the subscribe, hit that bell notification. We are working hard to give you guys the information you need. Also, hit that like button, help grow the channel. Guys, welcome, and we'll catch you next time.